Next one is one of my favorites because I've tried it already, Meadow, number 10. You can buy them open stock, by the way. I'll put the links on Jackson's because this is where I bought mine. Look at that. Magic. How incredibly, beautifully vibrant this is for a graphite pencil. Great color for botanicals. Yeah, so you can buy them open stock, so have a look what colors you might want to pick out. I knew that most of them I would like. I think, you know, probably this blue one, maybe not so much, and maybe the purple not so much, but I think everything else I would love. This is just purely, you know, your taste in color palette or the colors that you're attracted to. Nothing wrong with the colors that I just pointed out, just not my colors, that's all. Okay, so this was Ivy number 11. Next one we have Sage. That's interesting because Sage I would usually associate with like a grayish, greenish kind of warm grey green. This is number 12 and it's a brown, so I wonder why they called it that way, but anyway. So there we go. In the course that I just came out with, I am using that technique quite a lot. It's something that I absolutely love right now, is dragging a pencil into a wet puddle and creating these sort of effects. And that's what I'm planning to do with these pencils. That combination of both of them in the same piece is something I really, really like. So I wouldn't necessarily use them just as they are on their own. But definitely in a combination. So this is Chestnut number 13. It's kind of like a multicolored swatch if you look at it. You can see a bit of grey and a bit of pigment there. But once it's wet, it sort of all mixes beautifully and kind of really wakens up the pigment. Gorgeous. And next one is number 14, Russet. There's something super therapeutic about doing swatches and watching swatches. It's one of my favorite videos, haul videos and swatch videos, apart from the obvious, you know, the painting itself. Love this type of video. Cool Brown 15. So you will notice some of the colors are not as pigmented as others, and that's good because you want that variety. Cacao. Cacao. How do you pronounce that in your language, or in English rather? In Russian it's cacao. Okay, so that's quite a red brown to be a cacao, but anyway. Number 16. Okay, number 17, Autumn Brown. So we're getting, what we're getting, we already had some of the reddish browns, so this is the last one of it. And then we're going to move into the greys, which hopefully will all fit in onto one paper. Beautiful. This is a very, very nice color. Okay. Next one is Storm number 18. What am I doing here? Losing my track. I really want to see how this color pans out because, oh yeah, this is pretty. I used a bit too much water, so maybe that's why it's a bit more. But it is quite a close match. So if you look at the lead, it basically ends up being the dry, a very close match to the dry, and then this bit ends up being a very close match to the wet. So we can do the same pretty much with all of them. So again, wet, very similar, dry, very similar. What about this color here? So dry, quite similar, and then this one is quite similar. So basically these are the colors at the ends you're going to get when you wet them, with some exceptions, because this looks very much like the wet as well. Anyway, so next color is number 19, and it's warm gray. There's something about tinted grays I really like. It's very easy to work with them because they aren't really a color. So you can find a couple of popping colors to go with them, which I also mentioned in my, I have a class on that in my course about the popping color. Now, number 20, Midnight Black. So that's just a straight up black, I guess. This color looks, it's not too intense black as you can see, so it looks actually very similar to just the basic graphite gray. Yeah, it definitely looks like a graphite color rather than a black. So very comparable to this. As you can see, this wasn't tinted, this was just a straight up, but again, a bit more pigment there. And then we have a couple more colors left. Let's see, we've got actually 4 left, which is perfect. I didn't even do the maths, I just started swatching them. Very good. Well done, Alyona. Right, so this one is 21 Mountain Grey. And let's see how different this is. So, very similar. I mean, it's different, obviously. But if you look at them like that, you would think this is a very much black, and this is a very much almost like a whitish grey. But in fact, they're very, very similar on here. And so the next one is 22 Cloud Grey. I bought quite a few greys in the Faber-Castell Polychromo pencils because they are just gorgeous. Like I said, although they're greys, but there's a big difference between the grey and the grey. You know, some of them have a bit more of the warmth, some of them more cool. So now, side by side, you can see this is much warmer than this one. And then the next one is a cool grey, it says here, so I'm expecting it to be even cooler than this one. So we have 3 different strengths. So this should be the warm, middle, and then I guess the cool. So let's see. Straight off as a dry swatch, it looks a little bit like a blue, like a muted blue, but let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's on a blue side, but it's a grey. Definitely a cool grey. Maybe a touch, little bit too much of the cool tone in there, but it looks beautiful. And then just 24 is a white, which I'm pretty sure we're not going to see on here. And I wonder how different that would be to just a regular white, because it's a white, so obviously it can't have any graphite in there. but there's something in here. Anyway, let's have a look. Can't see much, but it's definitely very milky. Very, very white. It sort of reminds me almost on a, you know, when you make a mistake and then you're going over your text with that white solution. It was so fashionable in the 90s. What was it called? It had this little bottle with a little brush and then you just brush it on, do you remember? And then it sort of advanced onto these little tapes and all that. That was in the noughties. Anyway, so here we go. Very pretty, if I say so myself. Gorgeous colors. So straight off, not attracted to this couple of purples and the blues. Love these. Love all of these basically. But just ignore that. That's just my little comment on my personal color palette. From the 24, I know I'm going to be using most of these colors. They are really, really gorgeous. The fact that there are some of the pinks and the reds that can be used in cheeks and lips if you're doing portrait illustrations, and great for botanicals as well. I wish there was like a yellow and like more of an orange, like you know, like a nickel hazy yellow, but a bit tinted, a bit more muted, and then an orange that would be sort of like this type of orange but muted, you know what I mean, like between a yellow and a red type of color. I think those are the two colors that I wish were included in this set, but other than that, pretty good. Okay, so say I wanted to mix this color, which is, what is that color? So let's figure out, that's this color here with the meadow. So I'm going to take first the still blue, go about halfway in, and then I'm going to take the meadow, go halfway in. I'm going to overlap them just a teensy little bit and see what happens. Ooh, now that's quite neat, mind you. That is a very pretty color here in the middle. So they mix beautifully. So let me try actually just creating this color here. So I'm just going to mix, or rather not mix, but swatch them one next to another, these two colors separately, and that is a very intense, beautiful color here. Don't need that much water. So this is what the colors look separately, and then you can get a third color, which is this one here, which is quite a mossy green, very beautiful color, gorgeous. So I could also do this technique in the way that I like doing it. So what I could do is just sort of drag it in like so, and then go right on top of the line. If I wanted the colors to move, no. So this technique is actually great for keeping the two colors layered on top of each other, so they don't dissolve straight away. So that's a great one. But if you wanted to, then you have to do that. So say for instance, if I wanted to do this type of an effect, I would have to go straight on top of this, like that, and then wet it. So then we get this mossy green color. So again, different ways of using it. Let's see what else we could do. So say you are into doodling. And creating textures. And then what I would do is just go over it, and you can see I'm kind of creating a color in the middle, so it's not white anymore, but I'm also keeping the line there, which is great. And oh, let's see how they layer. That's another technique I cover in my class, is the layering. So let's see, I'm going to wet this one. And then this one. And this one. Yeah, so you can totally create some pretty cool contemporary pieces with this gorgeousness. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely had so much fun, and this gave me quite a few ideas of what to do with it, with this art supply. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you soon.